This was not the first time poachers have resorted to poisoning animals. Similar incidents have occurred in the Kruger National Park and other parts of southern Africa before. But this time, the Kruger suffered a major loss.
In this case, one elephant was poisoned and 110 vultures, as well as 2 lions and 2 jackals were poisoned. And essentially what happened was the elephant was shot in the head and then its body was laced with the poison. So your scavengers come along and eat the dead carcass and then they get poisoned indirectly.
We should have been expecting it, but it's no less traumatizing. What makes poisoning very different than simply coming in and shooting an animal is the knock-on effect on other species affected. So in a rhino poaching incident, the rhino dies, they get shot. But when you poach a carcass, there's a lot of animals like vultures, lions, jackal, hyena that also die. And that's horrendous.
A reliable source in the Kruger National Park claimed that the poison cyanide had been used to kill the wildlife. But the official word is that SANParks is still waiting for the final toxicology report to determine exactly what type of poison had been used to perpetrate this deadly crime.
An added challenge with poisoning is that the tools of destruction is so readily available. Any would-be poacher can just walk into a shop, buy poison and do the damage out in the veld. So I think in future, people would have to look at regulations around the availability of poisoning, especially over-counters in shops.
It's shocking, but we have seen it up in Africa and it's obviously moving down Africa and has now come to South Africa. So we need to look at new management plans of how to handle this poisoning the best way possible for South Africa.
Wildlife crime scene investigators say whether it's poisoning or poaching, seeing the way the animals are brutalized is appalling and disturbing.
This is very touching, especially if you come across it and see how did they cut the horn and imagine the pain the rhino went through when they removed the horn. It's very emotional and it's very touching.
As the great leader Nelson Mandela once said, once you've climbed one hill, you will find that there are many hills still left to climb. That's the position SANParks now finds itself in. It says it's made great gains in protecting the rhino, but it now has to tackle the devastating threat of poachers poisoning wildlife in this iconic Kruger National Park. Renee Del Calm, CCTV.